This is Damon Stevens, FinWealth Builders. Today is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022, and the stock market update for trades of the day. So let's see what happened to the market today. Well, looking at the market today, is Dow Jones has closed down 0.19%, NASDAQ down 1.67%, and S&P 500 down 1.22%. Didn't think it was going to be that. If you look at the charts, it doesn't look like that, but definitely saw a lot of price action in the day. You can see here where we opened up versus where we closed. You can see pretty well almost flat for Dow Jones, but look at NASDAQ. It pulled down, rallied up for most of the afternoon, and then pulled back down at the end of the day. Same with SPY, pretty much flat, rally up, and then back down just to close down. Definitely thought we were going to close at least even, but we didn't. So interesting to see as we're heading into this next day here with the FOMC meeting results. So just something to be aware of tomorrow. Could see a lot of volatility, could see some direction maybe come in the market if depending on what the news is, it comes out from the Fed. So just be aware that that is coming out tomorrow, and it would probably set the direction for the market. We also have stock earnings coming out tomorrow as well. So we'll get into the charts on that. But looking at the heat map, you can see our FANG stocks are mostly down. You can see energy was high up, healthcare was mixed, and finances was mixed as well. So definitely a lot of money coming out of the tech and moving to other areas right now. Also, you can see our small caps were low. I didn't really have anything on the scanner really hit, and probably won't for until the market starts to come back and we start to see rallies again. Probably won't see a lot of action on the scanner. So a lot of it just goes back to looking at your core stock holdings and opportunities and looking for trades there. So looking at where we're at this week, so we had IBM had earnings on Monday, Microsoft on Tuesday. Tomorrow we're looking at basically Tesla, Intel, Boeing is also on there. So, I should have highlighted that one too, but definitely when we look at these in the morning, definitely a good day on Wednesday and Thursday for earnings as far as companies to look at and opportunities for volatility. And we'll talk about Microsoft a little bit later here, but definitely take advantage of those opportunities as they play out here in the market. Looking at IBM, just to review where IBM's at. So it had earnings, and you can see this nice roll rally and then a pullback to our trend line. And then it was hovering over a trend line, but you can see it just kind of grinded up today. So coming up here to a high. So, is this a double top up here that's creating, or is this, another level for a breakout? As long as it continues to go up this trend line, more than likely we're going to have a breakout. So as long as no bad news comes up, we should see hopefully a rally here. But you can see we've got to break through this 137.30 really to come up here to this new high here to somewhere around 138, 139, and then possibly up here to our upper trend line at some point, which would be the 140s. So looking to see where IBM goes, and obviously IBM is going to be looking at the market, and market obviously was down and IBM was up, so that's a good sign for us. Somebody asked me to add this, so Boeing in here. So you can see here off our trend line, we hit it several times before pulling back. We pull back down, pretty much down to this level here, where we should have support, hopefully. And it looks like we're kind of starting to bounce here. We got to break through this resistance here at 204, get back over the 20 and start to move up again. So you see we're kind of climbing up here. So hopefully we can climb up this wedge and break out back into our main trend and remain bullish. Microsoft here, you can see that we've had this little pullback here. You can see I put after hours on here, so you can just kind of see that we dipped here yesterday, pulled right back up to the 50, and then today we kind of drifted off about halfway, tried to pull it back up to 50, failed, and then we had our earnings come in and we dropped down real quick, which was nice. I grabbed a piece of this after hours on the close because it was good earnings, and yet we dropped. So pretty much that I took the chance that we were going to drop down here and bounce and head back up least retrace a little bit. But it ended up retracing all the way back up, past the 50, which I didn't expect, and I did not ride it all the way up. So I got out more down here. And so, after I saw this, I was like, wow, I guess I should have stayed in, but I really didn't want to stay in trades, after hours a long period of time. So I just kind of just scalped a little bit of it after hours. So that was a nice trade. Tesla, you can see, we've been obviously doing this downtrend, came up, we pulled back, talked about hitting this 200, which we did yesterday, bounced off of it. We're still under the 100. We tagged it, came back down here. So we got a little doji kind of in the support area here. So this is kind of the range we're in. So hopefully we can just break out of here. If not, then we may come down and tag this 200 again and possibly lower. So we'll see if Tesla just consolidates or what it decides to do, especially tomorrow after the meeting. Apple, so broke off the trend line, came down here. We tagged, yesterday we tagged right here close to where this last pivot was up of our trend line, and it bounced off of there. And then today it looks like we're closing right below where we had some resistance at the 100. So that does show some weakness. It could be possible that we come back here and retest it again, or even down to the 200, which is just right almost where this other pivot is off of our trend line. So, depending on what the news comes out tomorrow, we may rally out down. If we can break above this 160 level, then we can kind of hopefully rally back up to 168 and hopefully, start to break to the north side. So just something to watch. The meeting tomorrow is going to be critical to help us understand, where the market wants to go next. McDonald's, McDonald's, you can see here, it just continues to bounce. And so we have a nice little M here. And it's bouncing off our trend lines, the lower trend line. So that's good. So we'll see if this continues to kind of bounce up, possibly come up here and tag this 271 level or maybe higher, because you can see kind of we've been putting in some higher highs and higher lows. So that's a good trend for moving up. So just keep that in mind. Cat is in a downward trend. We bounced out, came back down. We've tagged this line now off the 100 twice. Hopefully we can keep this rally here and get back above the 20. Baidu, I had this on here. This might come back off here, but I was hoping it would try to break out here. It did not. It's holding our trend line and pulling back here. So, support's down here at 132.14. If it tries to break out, it's going to be, somewhere, closer to this area, 154. So looking to see if we get a reversal out of Baidu and start to head north, or we're going to just continue to have some weakness here and continue to drop down this channel. Peloton. So Peloton came up, tagged our trend line, and was trying to rally back up, and then failed. And then today, you see this nice little drop off here, bounced off our support, which you can see several times we hit that support, try to rally back up here and came down and bounced again. So, we broke below the trend line, so it's possible that we can start to go down to, lower numbers. We do have our next breakout is really 23.79, and you see that was kind of twice. So, hopefully we don't drop all the way down there, but it's possible. It's also possible we might come down to this support area here as well, 25.83. If we do end up breaching that. If not, we should head back up towards our resistance there at 27.45 and hopefully break out and start to move back up through our trend. LRCX had a big old pullback, further than I thought it was going to do. Did find support at this trend line, bounced off of it, tried to rally back up to the 200, failed, came back down. So we're about, almost a little bit less than, a little more than halfway back down on that retracement. So we'll see if this holds or if we get more of a weakness on LRCX. NVIDIA, so it's this downward sloping channel below the 200 now. Tagged the lower trend line, then broke through it and closed below it. So I don't like that. If we have support, it's down here around 208 area. I hope we can find support here and bounce off of here. You see that 206.69 was the last pivot off of the trend line. So this should hopefully provide us some good support. It looks like it tagged it also yesterday and bounced off. So we'll see if we can get a rally back out of here. NVIDIA is definitely looking weak right now. AVAX, broker trend line, broke our next support line, tagged our next support line. And I don't have anything marked out below this. So, could we come lower? Possibly. If we break 66.81, it's probably a good shorting opportunity. If we get back above, $81, then hopefully we can start to rally up here. So you could kind of just watching to see, which direction we get going here on AVAX, but AVAX still very bearish. Exxon here. You see here we came down, tagged our support line a couple times, came up here, hit our resistance line now, as almost at 75 here. So trying to break through here, 74.93 is where we close the day. So just barely under 75. So got to break above that 75 level if we want to start to rally back up, towards some additional highs here. But right now, we are sitting right here at resistance. So we can either get a pullback tomorrow, or possibly if we can get past the 75, maybe we can rally up towards 77. RK hit our support line down here at 64.59 and bounced off of it. We'll see if we can hold that. It's got to get back above this 200 here. It's 79 if we want to start rallying back up here. So we'll see if we can hold this level with ARK and start to move up. As far as our 10-year yield, just flat, so no change there really. US oil consolidating as well. So not much of change there. The dollar's right here back at the support level above our support. So it's been there for 2 days now. So we'll see. Could just consolidate here before trying to rally back up. The VIX, we talked about this yesterday. It came up, tagged our trend line, did not stay, but it tagged our trend line, came back down, and then today it bounced up again. So really choppy here, lots of gaps on the VIX, but it still remains elevated, which is not good for the stocks to rally back up here. So hopefully this can pull back down, pre-market, before the market opens here, give us a chance to get a little rally tomorrow, depending on what the Fed say. If not, if the VIX spikes back up here, more likely we're coming down and we could have more downside. But you can see here that we are tagging the support lines or the resistance lines here appropriately. And so we'll see what tomorrow brings. SPY is down here. I actually just try to rally back up here. 433 is kind of the area it needs to break out if we want to get up, and then 440, 444, and then higher. If we break back below 420, then you got possibly 410, 400, or lower. So you can see this wedge that we're kind of in here now that we broke down into. So we'll see if this continues or if we bounce off here and rally back up into our trend, our prior trend. Triple Qs broke below where we had support before. And it's in here right at this level here where the market failed to break out, pulled back, and then it was able to eventually break out. So we're kind of at that same level. So hopefully we can bounce off of here at 345 and start to rally back up, get back over 350. And if not, we could become back down to 334 or even lower. Semiconductors is still below. They tried to rally up, but it closed below our trend line, our lower trend line, and below the 200. So that's weak. So semiconductors could come back down again, into maybe the mid 750s, maybe the 250s, maybe on the chart here. I have the next one down here at 248.98. So around 250 would be kind of where we possibly have, but that would be below the trend line. So hopefully we can either bounce off the trend line like we did yesterday, or hopefully we just rally back up and get above the 200 in the trend line and start to rally back up. Dow Jones hit this resistance and it became support. now a couple of times, got this big M here, and then a rally up here back into our a normal trend line in our channel. So we'll see if we can hold that tomorrow, get above the 200, 346, and rally towards 351. If we break down, levels are, 340, 338, 335, 331. So IWM, so you can see here, pullback, and we bounced off this area here. This is now support area for us. Got just above the 100, so hopefully we can rally back up to this candle and get positive territory again. Financials, bounced off the 200, second day in a row, got above our trend line, back at the 50, or the 100. So hopefully we can hold this 100, bounce off here now that we're back up here. Bitcoin, big old long drop here. So looking for a breakout above, this, hold above 38, 39, and hopefully, above 40. And then that way we can go towards 42. We can get past 42, 44, 47, and then up from there. So we'll see if Bitcoin's ready to take off. Leo pulled back again, and still just kind of consolidating here. You can see that it's consolidated before. And so hopefully we can get a break out of this area and start to head above that 50 moving average. And I'll go ahead and put some lines in here just so you can see. Okay, OMI, you can see here we had this, channel, this wedge broke out, came up to a high, tagged it, bounced back up again, and now we're seeing just under that resistance area. So we'll see if we, get up here and bounce off this resistance and break through, hopefully, and start to head north. But we do have a red candle here, doge, so hopefully we don't break back down, but it's possible. So just be aware of that. Luna, so Luna, you can see here, it's just pretty much consolidating here. So it came up here, this was the prior support, resistance, and back to support again. So looking for a continuation play within this range, and hopefully breaking out over 74.65 or 68 sometime in the future. FTM trying to rally back up as well. Still weak, but still trying to rally up above those moving averages. So see if we can get to more action here and get this driven up here, towards this resistance area of 278 and break through that area. And then SCRT is trying to rally back up off the 200. So hopefully we can get it. We got above the 100. Now we got to break the 50. So we'll see if we can get above the 50. And if so, we can hopefully try to rally back up towards this high. That's our stock. So go ahead and continue subscribing. Give us your feedback and stay safe out there. We'll talk tomorrow night of our trades and see how we did and see what we do for the rest of this week. So everybody have a great night. And we'll talk tomorrow.